Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for the top and bottom 3 comics of the week of May 4th, 2022. Hope you sit back and enjoy the show. Alright guys, so we're first going to start with the top 3. And once again, I like to mention these are just my views. I haven't read every comic book that was released. That would be a whole lot. But I did read 10. And I think 10's a pretty good chunk, especially considering I do this. I've been doing this each week for the month, so that's 40 plus comic books. Usually I read a month, by the way. So, and on top of that, I read a lot of back issues. But this doesn't count the back issues. This is just my views too. So if I missed something that you think is really good, make sure you let me know in the comments. Or if I missed something you think was horrendous and it's so bad it's good, let me know in the comments too. So we're first going to start with the ones that I think you should read. And I'm going to start with number 3 of my top 3, and that would be Task Force Z number 7. Task Force Z number 7. I gave it a 7.4 out of 10. And to say, I think the art's been solid in this series, and this issue continues that. The story continues to have a lot of interesting turns on it. And I really like to see Jason Todd. I like this character, and I'm glad we're still seeing more of him, even though he hasn't seemed to really have his own title, even though in a way this sort of is his title, just with a different name on it. I really just like the twists and turns of this series. It's every time you read it, you don't really know what to expect to happen and how it's going to twist, and I think that makes a good story. I don't think you can miss out, waste your money on that comic. I think it'll be a good one to get. Number 2 would be Flashpoint Beyond number 1. I gave this a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, it just barely eked its way ahead of Task Force Z. The art was solid all the way through, and I think this is an interesting story. I really like how it moves its way in and pieces of all these stories that have been going on. So I hope it continues to be good, and I hope it fails to disappoint. I don't want to be disappointed. I want this to be good. I really do want good comics. I know the bad comic reviews and things are the ones that get the views, right? Bad comic reviews get the views. That rhymes. It's sort of cool. But I want to know the good and the bad. I prefer the good, but hey, it is what it is. So that's once again Flashpoint Beyond number 1. I gave it a 7.5. Now the number 1, this is my must-read pick. And this has been a common thing with me. I just really love this series. Even they're a group of mini-series, and it's the Maestro, and this is Maestro World War number 3. And I gave it an 8.3 out of 10. Every Maestro story they've had, I've really enjoyed. The art has been solid. The story continues to be fun. It always gives you a little fan service too. There's just, in every issue, there's little things that are just fan service. Whether it be looking at all the pieces in Rick Jones's his room or office or whatever you want to call it, his bunker probably might be a better term. Whatever it may be, there's just little nods to the past, and I just really like it. I really think Maestro is something that you should not be missing. I would pick up any of the Maestro that you can get. Once again, I gave that an 8.3, and I do grade pretty hard, just so you know. Alright, now let's talk the bottom 3. The garbage, the bottom barrel. You know what? They are worse than they were last week, in my opinion. So these are ones that I don't think you can necessarily waste your money on for the most part, but they're not quite as good. So my the bottom of the barrel one would be and they get better, worse I should say, as we go. So the number 3 at the bottom is Ben Reilly, Spider-Man number 4. Yeah, the art was ho-hum. It was okay, but it really not the best. The story is good, but it just never got great. It's just okay, and it's a little underwhelming. I'm hoping for more. I like Ben Reilly, and it's nice to see a story from the past with him, but it just doesn't quite do it. The whole thing just ho-hum, and I'm looking for something good, so it hits there. The number 2 book is sort of surprising to me, and that's Spider-Man 2099 Exodus. I give it a 6.8 out of 9, and the art was okay at best. It was nice to see Ghost Rider 2099 again, but you know what? it didn't have a lot of flair in the story. To be honest with you, I didn't care for the Ghost Rider 2099 series that much, and I really wanted to. It was just always okay. The story is off to a strong start, though. Once again, I know this isn't my bottom 3, but remember, it got a 6.8. That's not terrible. The story is off to a decent start, but the ending of that issue introduces a character, the baddie of it, and that's what bumped it up a little bit, which gives me a lot of hope for this miniseries, and that's seeing the Green Goblin in 2099. And it's not a 2099 Green Goblin. It is the Green Goblin, because you could tell by the scar in his chest, and he's in 2099, so that opens up some really interesting possibilities for me. And the absolute bottom, the one that you should probably not bother with, and to be honest, I wouldn't bother with this series. It's been pretty underwhelming, and that hurts my heart to say, and that's Avengers Forever #5. I only gave it a 6 out of 10. The art, once again, is just okay. The story has just really stretched out to me. They really stretched this issue. It has a slow pace, and once again, the same issue I've been having with this, as well as some other books. Am I the only one out there that finds this multiverse stuff to be tired? I mean, how much multiverse can we take? It's multiverse this, multiverse that, and it just seems lazy. It's like they don't want to write the real characters, the original characters anymore. They can't write them in a heroic way or an interesting story, so they're just going to put new spins on these characters. Can't even create new ones, so we're just going to take new spins on the ones that already exist and just keep making stories based on that. And it just doesn't quite do it for me. But maybe it's me, not you, right? And if that's okay, that's okay too. And speaking of other people, I want you to take a moment and thank these people here that you see, because without them, these videos would not be possible. These are some great people, some great supporters of the channel. Without them, boy, I'd be in trouble. This is because I don't monetize my YouTube, because I don't like how YouTube does it. But hey, there's other ways you can help me too, just like these people. I have a Patreon, I have a subscribe star button. There's another way to help. I now have a Rumble account, and I do monetize my videos on Rumble. So if you watch them on Rumble, that will actually help me in that way. Once again, it's just Captain Frugal on Rumble. So it's easy to check out. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, everybody, keep it frugal.